I think this video is a long time coming, but I think it's time to talk about a very special game, and that's Pathfinder 2e. You may be surprised to know that I'm talking about Pathfinder, because my usual process for videos are that I make a curious case about them, then I make a video about it. However, the first crucial step is that I need to actually give a shit enough to talk about the game in question. Pathfinder 2e is special, because I've been condemned into the cycles of guilt for over, 3 years now, I think? Playing one of 2 campaigns every week, bar when someone had an emotional breakdown or I went on my endless Hotel California Florida Keys adventure with those same friends. I like to judge most of my thoughts and input based on these people, whom I will dub Jim, Ron, Chug, and Nate for future concepts if they get brought up. So, Pathfinder 2e is by Paizo, that other company that made it so 3.5 never ever died, and that proceeded to make a second edition which still hasn't seen universal adoption by most of their core audience. A huge chunk of people came and subsequently went during the OGL crisis a while back, so it cemented a dedicated fan base of people who really want to play Dungeons and Dragons but want to be hipster about it. I could run through the D20 system, but you already know how that works. Hell, I can just say D20 system and you're already intimately familiar with the inner workings, with one of the few unique things the game does is making criticals happen on a 20 or a 10 up on a check in question. So get ready to farm +1s and +2s or just get skull fucked because the enemy just crit ignores everything. So instead of going mechanic by agonizing mechanic, I'm going to tell a few stories between Campaign 1 and Campaign 2. To set the stage a little bit, we need our 2 characters that I played. The first was Arsh, a lizardman cleric of Abraxas. The core concept was a kindly cleric who used a wicked faith and upbringing to help others while balancing in inner darkness. The second is Slippy, a kobold monk whom I deliberately gave 0 backstory because I stopped caring. Let's talk about the action economy first. The much touted feature of 2e was the 3 action economy, which is a blatant fucking lie they're telling you to seem different. Truth is that most turns compose of a main, minor, and move action if you're feeling generous. Arsh was a caster, and as a caster, almost every goddamn spell is either a 2 or 3 action move to get at what you actually want. Not to mention some power creep in certain spells, but I digress. So every combat boiled down to the same 2 actions. Cast a spell, move or stick thumb up ass. Slippy is a bit better, and now he moves, uses Tiger Stance, and then flurries. After that, he flurries, moves, and then makes a MAP attack. MAP is multiple attack penalty, and one of the core reasons why the 3 action economy is a blatant fucking lie. If you're fighting appropriately leveled encounters, which is almost always kind of a joke, every subsequent attack has a more egregious penalty. Though the fact that nearly everything you do is an action, your action economy is even more important than before, because our super important final boss we fought went down pretty quickly because exploiting the action economy to effectively deny actions that they had. But let's muse about combat in general, okay? I take my turn in about 20 seconds if I'm feeling slow. Arsh being one of the most complex to play because I needed to decide on whether to actually use a spell that would fail or make an attack that would also fail, because with every enemy scaling upwards faster than a non-optimized character, get ready for needing 18 plus to do fucking anything or praying they fail their DC 21 save with a +19 against it. Optimizing encounters is one thing I noticed quite extensively, as most early level encounters are rocket tag and high level encounters being luck-based gamble core nightmares. Ron was playing a thaumaturge, which needed about 5 attributes to do their job, so they were even worse off than others. Luckily, our champion would often run off or just single target focus things because they were a wrestler, and lead to the rest of us getting mauled. But hey, that's fine, right? Because any more combatants tend to slow things down to a crawl. A 10-man combat gets really damn slow when it takes everyone a minute or 2 to do their goddamn action, not mentioning the hemming and hawing because they have 3 actions. Was I in an hour-long combat at round 2? Yes, I was. And no, I wasn't having fun at that point. Draconian submission to the challenge rating and level scaling means that getting anything not approved by the gods above are annoying at best and outright impossible at worst. So with that rant about combat being boring as shit done, let's talk characters. You know the meme already that PF2 is 90% of feats for everything, and yes, it is 90% fucking feats. But if the dream of limitless option was true, that Alabaster Tau wouldn't be default dancing over my mangled corpse. Slippy is a monk, a fairly simple class, and if you exactly 3 options with them: a key monk, weapon monk, or fist monk. Monk. The first two have a fairly dedicated set of feats you need to take to make it actually work, and the Fist Monk has the rest of those locked off. Mix and match? You mean objectively worse off. As green is not a creative color, your endless feats tend to be a lot of chaff and a few pivotal ones. Things that were class features are now feats, and some are vital to making a character actually fucking function. Not to mention you need Dex for your AC or die immediately due to crits, Con to not be a wet paper towel, Wisdom to make sure you not go last in initiative, and God forbid your class requires intelligence or charisma. Speaking on skills, I will save you, me, and everyone else a massive headache and say, God, I hate them. Limitless options are tempered by few real choices. Yeah, you can choose any of these class, race, skill, general, which aren't skill feats except when they are, or archetype feats, but you really should be just pre-planning your character to make sure you don't fall off by level 4 or needing to spend time that the GM may not even bother giving you to retrain everything, suggesting you aren't playing a class with about 15 special mechanics to worry about. Looking at you, swashbuckler. With a free dedication, 2 technically, Slippy has 7 feats, a kobold feat, 2 class feats, a dedication, a background feat, skill feat, and a general feat. The skill general archetype feat were chosen not due to value or use, but because I needed to pick something and nothing else quite fit. This is a level 3 character after about 5 months of play. Admittedly, I have clocked out for most of these sessions these days because we have a summoner thaumaturge rogue cleric who's the worst stereotype of all of those characters at fucking once. But hey, with leveled items and gold, you have the undying privilege of being able to afford absolutely nothing and being rewarded with items that may or may not be useful, if you use them of course, because most are consumable and the ones that aren't are priced in a way that you might get one if you're very, very lucky, suggesting the I desperately need this magic item or my build falls apart isn't stated many, many times. Yippee-ki-yay, the pyrite rat. I'll make sure to never use it because my action economy demands that I use all my actions every turn doing something useful, and it'll just die upon impact. But hey, that's fun, right? Are you having fun chugging a potion for plus 10 movement speed or plus 2 AC instead of doing anything else? I know it's wonderful. Now, this isn't talking about the entire glut of seemingly random actions that everything actually is, with sub-rules for each of them no less, and individual actions. This isn't musing at how classes range from god-tier fighters to poo-tier thaumaturge who get cucked by reality. This isn't bitching about how they changed all the goddamn names of things so that you need to double-check everything in the remastered edition to make sure that you're not using the wrong items or spells because that one's a legacy and not a remastered version. Because this isn't even talking about how fucking slow every single thing you do is. No. Because remember, all of this is getting automated and played on a VTT. I genuinely do not know how people play this in person, suggesting they even do. Is the game entirely bad? No, of course not. When things are working as intended, it can actually be fun in a way. But that's a crapshoot of it being either mind-numbingly slow or cock and ball torture trying to do anything productive. I do not like Pathfinder 2e, but I am stuck playing it. Oh, but your GM is just bad. Do you realize how much of a fucking cop-out that is? Oh, your build is wrong. Not much better, asshole. At all. Sorry, you're playing the game wrong. Maybe if you sucked less, it would be good. But I don't want to play it anymore. But they seem to like it. So here I am, screaming internally at hour 3 of an inane combat encounter where nothing fucking happened. It's great. I love it. I hate it. My name is Notepad, and this was not my favorite game. If you like what I do here, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. I'm gonna die a little on the inside now. Goodbye.